Good morning and sliding into afternoon. Judy Allen here, also known as Nana, San Antonio, Texas. And we're doing the first alternative today with Pick Up the Crop. And we're actually going to use some cardstock. Usually I stick to everything that's just in the box. Got an actual box. And I'm actually going to use cardstock outside of the box. It's something I sent to my customers. And so I'm going to sit around and show you today using that and a little bit of difference that it makes. Alright? So with that, let's go down hand and let's get started. Alright, so this is what was in the kit, and this is Pick Up the Crop, and we made this on this past Sunday here. We made one of each, and we did an alternative. So you didn't miss it, then just check out the video because it's there. Alright, and this is the one that's coming up July 10th. I am so looking forward to it. I want the beach. So July 10th, you have to order this in order to get it. If you didn't get this kit and you want it, you still have to become a paper pumpkin subscriber, and you might get the refill kits. Okay, the refill kits will not have the ink spot or the block in it or anything. But anyway, let's move on to this here. So what I've done is I've just taken cardstock like we would make a regular card. And this is just folded in half. This is 5.5 here by 4 1/4. It's just taken your standard 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper and cutting it in half, right? Okay, so today what I've done is I've taken an envelope, and I'll try to say hi if you're out there live. Just a minute, I got some kind of funky thing there. So I'll try to keep up with it if I can. Alright. Somebody straighten me out, I guess. Okay, there we go. So anyway, so this envelope, we're going to use the envelope. And if you look on the inside of the envelope, we get stripes on this side, but this time we don't have this. We just have solid green on this side, so it's not stripes all the way through. So what I've done for today is I've actually taken the cardstock, and I've actually cut apart the envelope, alright? And I plan on doing it right here, but I really like the green from the front side, and I didn't want to waste it. So what I did is I took the envelope, and I'm just going to show you how this is going to make a difference. If I just tuck this on the side, whether we're debating whether to go with it totally green all the way around or just give it a little bit of a trim, I decided to just go with a little bit of a trim, right? That's all I'm going to do. I'll give it a little bit of trim right here because I just want a little bit of the green here. I didn't want it at the top necessarily. But I was just going to take advantage of what was in the envelope and what was left over after I sliced it and diced it. See how that just gives a nice little edge to it and everything and all? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put some glue dots here on the inside edge. And I'm going to take the roughest part. So like this one's a little bit on the rough side because that's, I'm not sure how I managed to do it. I think it's just when I did the square I did that. So I'm just going to sit up here, and I'm just going to put some glue dots on the inside. And I'm going to do this also on the inside. And I'm going to do it at each end. Because I'm doing it right here, because I'm going to stick it to the top here. And then what I'll do is I'll turn around and trim it, right? So I'm going to do it here, and then once I assemble this to the other color there, then I'm going to sit up here. I'll do it one down lower. And I'll show you what I'm going to do here. Because this is just temporary, right? I'm just sitting there and I'm going to do this to adhere this to this color here. Hello, Jennifer. It's always good to see you. I hope you're surviving this nice warm weather that we're having. Because it is warm. Alright, so we're going to keep on with the glue dots here. It's warm. If you don't know what the weather's like in San Antonio right now, we're back in the 100 degrees weather. We had some rain this week that gave us a little bit cooler, even though it was a lightning storm. But hey, you know what? That's what it takes to get some rain, which we need, because we're in stage 2 water restrictions. So you take what you can get, right? Okay, so all I'm going to do is peel this off. And I'm just going to trim once I get through, alright? So I'm just sticking this to this here on the side. Okay, let me start to get this out of the way for you so you can see as I do this together. Alright, so I'm just going to come up here to the edge here, and I just want to trim it. I just want a slight I wouldn't say it's a quarter of an inch. It's most probably closer to an eighth of an inch. And it's going to be important, right? Because I want to be able to do it on both sides and still have a little bit of this. This is actually crushed curry if you want another color. It's crushed curry. So I want a little bit, because that's what makes colors all pop as we go to assemble this, and you'll see it as it starts pulling together. And I'm just going to do the same thing. I'm eyeballing it. I don't measure it. If you've ever been with me on my retreats or my classes, you'll hear me tell you I do not sit there and just pull out the ruler and measure everything. I don't. Just eyeball it and I do it. So there you go. So all I'm going to do is trim this off. Here and here. Then now you'll see that I'll have just like a nice slight border right here. Okay, and it just gives me a trim look on each side. So now I'll sit up here and I'll put, let's see, you can see here's the back side of the envelope. It's just this side here, and I flipped over so you can see. So yes, nobody's going to know that except unless they watch the video here, because they're not going to be able to see it, right? Okay, so now I'm just put glue dots on the back of this so I can take it and sit there and put the whole thing down. Okay? So pretty much we're using the stuff in the kit. I just need to use some extra cardstock because I just want to show you, just like I do my customers, that you can make alternatives by just using a little bit of cardstock. Because I can tell you right now, the other one that I did not use yet, but I will use, is Blackberry Bliss, because that'll go so good with the grapes, not the grapes, the blueberries, and just the whole, I'm trying to think what other color that was in there. That's going to really pick up on, it's going to pick up on those flowers too. So that's another color that I would use as a alternative color if I was going to as a background, using some cardstock. Okay, you're going to see that in a minute. I'm just going to go ahead and get this down. I just like to get these down on my way, unless I'm putting ribbon around it. If I'm going to put ribbon around it, then I wouldn't want to put this down yet, right? But right now I'm not going to use ribbon to wrap around it. So I'm going to go ahead and get it down, because it's just sort of like if you're painting or anything else, you're just trying to get your background done and how it's going to look. I already know how it's going to look, so I sort of put it out there because I got pretty excited. Okay, see here, I'm just going to put this down, and that just really picks it up nicely, okay? So from here, I'm going to sit here, this was in the kit, and look how pretty that looks on that color. Doesn't that look nice? Nice and inviting. So I'm actually going to put this up on dimensionals because I can, right? Because I can. Don't have to, but you know, that's what it's all about, right? Is when we make our cards is to help give them some depth and dimension. We'll make it simple, we don't have to. I just wanted to go ahead and do it. And then I'm going to sit there and put one on these wheels, so these wheels aren't flopping around. And the other reason I'm doing this is, I tell you, is because I'm going to tuck some flowers in here. And I just sort of make sure that it's right there with the spokes of the wheel, and that way it won't show through. See? Shouldn't show through. If it does, I'll have to trim it a little. See how it looks. So hope your day's going well. Don't forget to say hello. We did a drawing last Sunday from people that comment an emoji or something so that we can get their name. I know offhand that Amelia won a kit. I was trying to think of the others. It'll come to me in just a minute. I'm just going to put this up here. And I'm going to put this up a little bit higher up here, only because I'm going to tuck some flowers down here. Now, I fussy cut this out. I'm going to do a fussy cut for you. And here's another one. I was just going to sort of swap these around just to color them up. I don't know yet, okay? Let me do some more flowers. I'll do them vice versa, right? I wanted to be able to tuck them or else put them up here. Either or. But I wanted to add more flowers, because if you've ever been to a place that sells flowers like this and all, they got bunches of flowers, right? Just bunches. So this is, I went ahead and stamped this. I stamped this with gorgeous grape. And so I'm going to fussy cut this out and show you how I did the fussy cutting. And then I turn around and I used a blender pen. And so this is, the blender pen is like watercolor based type fluid, and the inks are too. So all I did is I take this here, and I just started doodle it around. I don't know if you call it doodling or whatever, but I just tap it around. I don't really have to do anything. It's going to give me a whole watercolor effect. I can just dab. So I'm actually using, versus using a paintbrush or something like that, I'm just dabbing around with this. I'm just getting the ink that I got from my spot there, and that was a spot from a previous kit, right? And I just sort of slightly dab in here, and it just sort of spreads, just like watercolor does, because that's the fluid you have in here to do that. And you just have to sort of dabble it. You don't even have to like color the whole thing. Okay, see, that's what I did. So actually, this is Razzle Dazzle Berry is the color I used here, and you can see when I first, here's some previous ones I did, and see how much it looks just like what's in the kit. I mean, this the stamp set, so it looks just like the die cut, except I don't have the green. Alright, so I was trying to get more flowers without having to use up all my die cuts here, right? So that's what I did, and so I stamped them in fussy cutting. And fussy cutting is no more other, see if I can talk today. It's no other than just, you're just cutting around, right? And the reason I'm doing this is, and you can move your scissors or not. You know, some people say that you're not supposed to move your scissors, you just move the paper. You know, I do whatever I do, right? Do whatever is easiest and convenient for you. It is sometimes it's easier for me to put that aside. It agitates me sometimes when I got that extra paper way over there. And I just, you know, I sort of move my scissors and paper both, I think. I'm not sure. You can decide and let me know what I do. I just do, right? I just do whatever is comfortable for me. So if it's more comfortable for you, just hold your scissors and move the paper. I sometimes do that just so it doesn't look like it's a flat cut. And that way it just sort of gives it a different look. But you know, it's just like I said, it's whatever is comfortable for you. Alright, I'm done with that. And so then I can just easily come in here and just clean that up or do it like I want to here. And I just gave it a rounded edge, right? It doesn't take that long to fussy cut. Some people don't like to fussy cut. I don't mind fussy cutting. But the reason why I did that is because it was sort of difficult to stamp here because I'm going to have this in the background, right? So if I stamped on that, I would have done that. If I stamped on here, I'll show you what it would do. You're not going to get the same color. Use this one. So let me just show you. So if you've never done this before, so let me see if I have a piece of scrap. Yeah, I'll use a piece of scrap. So if I stamp directly on the cardstock, that's just what it would look like. Okay? And then if I'd stamped it on here, that is what it would look like. Which I could do that. And I still could if I wanted to. I could come and do something in and I could color it in. Now it's going to look a little different when I come across this pink. Or it may be a pinkish tone color. If I come across that, so let me see if I can, still on my block. Let me see if I still have, I don't think I still have the, yeah, here it is. Alright, so if I come across this pink here, let me just show you the difference. Okay, that's what it's going to look like versus here. So there really doesn't seem to be much difference if I'm going to color and come across this pink color right here. So literally if I wanted to now, I could sit up there and decide, you know, I'll just go ahead and stamp some flowers on here, and it's not going to really be a difference, right? So the main thing is, you know, what do you want your colors to look like, and to make sure that they're the same, all right? Or however you want them. Okay, what you can live with, right? Sometimes we can't live with stuff, and other times we can. So I actually like that, and that's what I'm really wanting here is a bunch of flowers down here at the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and take this here, and I'm going to just stamp some at the bottom. Now the nice thing is that we're going to do a little stamp off, and when we do this, and I'm not going to do the whole thing, right? Because I'm just going to come and tuck some down here. Is all I'm going to do. I'll have to leave that open. But I can take this here. because I really don't want it to get on the yellow, because I already know it's not going to look good on the yellow, right? So I haven't glued this. Yeah, I did glue that in. I'm just going to stick this right under here, because I can. And I'm just going to stamp. Okay? And I'm just going to stamp several of them, because I do have the ones that are already fussy cut. And I did the white trim around them, because that's the way the one was in the die cut, and I wanted to match. I'm going to stick this right up here. So that's why I did it, because I wanted to match. Now, if I don't like it, then I'll have to go in and trim. Let me see here, get this out here. It's just because I didn't anchor that down yet that I can do that, right? Okay, so I at least got those in there, and I can come in there and I can put glue dots underneath. So my original game plan was, I'll get that out of the way for the moment. So my original game plan was I wanted to go ahead and add some more of these flowers here. And I really didn't want to cover the wheels too much, but I might have to, right? Or put them at the bottom, But the other thing I really wanted to do is I really wanted to tuck some flowers in here. Okay, and let them come out. So for me to do this, I would actually have to trim this down a little bit, right? So you have to trim it a little bit. And that's okay, because, you know, if you come in and I come in here and I trim it like right in here between these flowers, and I can just fussy cut around, right? And have all my flowers. But I can't control the white, right? I would have to come in and literally cut around every single little flower if I didn't want the white to show. But I'm okay with that, right? Because if you go and buy flowers, you got all different colors, you got all kinds of all different stuff. So that's what I had wanted to do. So I'm going to have to trim it a little bit more, right? Let's see if I can do it up here. I won't like that. I could do just the stem right there, that would be fine. But I really had wanted it down here more. And the thing is, that just means I have to cut it more, right? Let's see if this one will work here. Okay. So I just wanted a lot of flowers. I think it's because we're having all this unreal heat down here, and I want to see a bunch of flowers. Okay, so I'm going to just tuck this. See if I can tuck that in there. Okay, I'll just tuck it this way then. And that's fine with me. I'm just going to use a glue dot right here on the wheel to hold it in place. Let me put this lid back on my pin here. And you know what? I can just as easily. So I mean, the thing is, it's just as easy to sit there and trim things down. Actually, I'm just going to use that one, but I still have to have my glue dot, right? To hold that down. So we're going to do that. That's the nice thing about these glue dots. They're just very easy to put down. And I'm just going to tuck this under here so my flowers come out here, right? So if you've, like I said, if you've ever gone, I tell you what I think of right off the bat. I'm thinking of Pikes Peak Market up in Seattle. They have such flowers everywhere. They're just beautiful, and everything's so lush from all the rain they get. And that's what it reminds me of. Now granted, I haven't seen a cart with cheese on it and the wine and everything else, but you know, they definitely have flowers. And I'm just putting it there. So see, I'm not going to use a dimensional. I could come in and use a dimensional if I wanted to. And I could easily put this down here. And I could add more flowers. I might even put it up right about there. Okay, and I'm just going to put in some more flowers because I can, right? So that's all I'm going to do is I'm just going to keep on putting in more flowers. I'm going to shorten this. And this reminds me of lavender. I don't technically know what the flower is here, but that's what it reminds me of because of color and all. And I always think of that because lavender you can use for so many things. Okay, and I'm just going to fill in some lavender is all I'm going to do. I'm going to call it lavender for the sake of calling it something besides just sticking in. And so then I'm just going to come in and add some here. And I might shorten it a little bit. Everything doesn't have to be the same height, right? And so again, I'm just going to use a glue dot because I really got to mail this card and somebody's really going to pull it out of an envelope. So I don't want pieces flying all over the place. And I can trim, right? I can trim if I want to trim. I don't know about you, but I just got through sending out 4th of July cards, and that was very nice. I've already gotten some responses from friends and people. You know, it's always about making somebody's day. It's always about making somebody's day. Alright, I'm going to use this one and use a glue dot there. Then I'll put a 5th one in there, just so we have our odd numbers, right? And again, I'm just using the spoke of the wheel to put my glue dots on and to put it down. Okay, and then I will put a 5th one in there somewhere just to fill it in. Just trying to think if I could just... I don't need a lot, right? I just needed something. So let's see what we can do with our something to fill in some of our gaps there. I'm just going to put it right there, okay? So I really don't need the whole thing, I just need a little bit of it. I just have to have enough room to sit there and put a glue dot, right? That's all we need. So it reminds me of doing a flower arranging. I'm just in up here, and this one I'm actually going to put a glue dot up here so I can glue dot it up here. So it's going to be actually higher on the card itself. But that's, you know, if you're doing flower arranging, that's what you do, right? You sort of just get everything there, and you start filling in the spots and so forth and so on. So I'm going to still put in some more. And then I'm just going to turn around. Now this here, I can put it on a dimensional, but I'm going to put the dimensional down here on the bottom. Okay? Because it would make it too tall on the top, and I'm just trying to keep it off the bottom, right? Just like I did the other. And I'm just putting my extra flowers right there. Just because I wanted some extra flowers, right? Now I can still fill in, so that's the nice thing, so I can still come in here and add some more flowers if I want to, because this is still loose. I don't have that like etched in stone or anything. I will have to trim that though. And let's see what I'm going to do here. I'm going to fill in this right here, so I'm actually going to use this part here. So I'm going to just fussy cut this part off here, right about in here. And I'm just filling in some of the gaps, right? It just reminds me of flower arranging. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to come in here, and all I got to do is put a glue dot up here, right? And I've got that filled in there. So this one, you know, just sit there and do what I'm doing right now. It does take a little bit more effort than just saying stamp and be done. But, you know, in the long run, I know I'm going to like it. I know I'm not going to make thousands of these or hundreds of these, but I do know this is going to go to somebody, right? It's going to somebody. Alright, so I might have to come in and add some more glue dots, but that's okay. I want to at least get this here and show you what I was doing. I don't control background noises. I can only control what I have here. We do have other people in this house doing different things. Alright, so see how I sit there and trim that? I just made it all right there. And I do have some down here. But there you go. Now the only other thing I might want to do here is, let's see if we can add a bow. I'm going to actually put my message on the inside of the card. I could do, let's see if we like anything right now right here. Because I want to do hello for sure on the inside of the card. Let's see how this would look here. Oh yeah. That would look very nice, right? And we could put right here, let me stamp on here, a message. And then I'm going to do hello on the inside. So this one here says, you're the pick of the crop. So that's the longest one I have to go right there. So I'm going to put this on here. And I have extra blocks, yeah. And you know what, if something's ever too wider than what the block is, just do it diagonally, okay? And then we're going to sit there and stamp this with, this is actually the color in the box. This was actually Calypso Coral, and I'm going to go ahead and stamp it with this, which is fine. It's just going to make everything pop. You just need to really stamp it, ink it up 3 times. Alright, and I'm just going to set that aside at the moment. And I'm just going to put that down with glue dots, right? Because I've already got height to it. And let me do that. And then we're pretty much done, right? I got to come in and color these, but that's okay. I don't think you, I already gave you my coloring exercise, so I don't think you need me to do a coloring exercise for you. But I would. If you wanted me to, I would. I think Jennifer doesn't need to see me do a coloring exercise. But I would if she wanted me to, right? There you go. But I'll finish it up, you'll see it. And you might like it just like this. You might like it without me coloring it. You know, those are all decisions to make, and you can always change your mind, because here is what it looked like when I colored it. And I think it looked just fine. You know, if you don't feel like coloring, then don't color. Alright, looky there. I just added more flowers, right? I just cut it up, added more flowers, added a background, added a little green trim here to the side, and then I'll finish coloring these right here. And I might see, there wasn't any bling in here with this one, but I might go through my stash of old stuff and see if I can find some bling there to add for you. And when we post the final picture, just to show it, I was just looking to see. No, I don't have any. There was nothing in there. All right, and I'll save this for another day. You know, I could just as easily put it down here or here. But see, it's going to overhang, and I don't want to cut off the flowers. But those are definitely all choices you can make. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. And I hope you enjoyed creating alternatives. If not, it's just to inspire you, to get you thinking and looking at different ways you can do things. And if you enjoyed it, I hope you enjoyed it. And if you would, share the video and the Facebook page with your friends and others. And also, we're on YouTube, Instagram, and Pinterest, right? I don't think I missed anything. If I did, again, take your keeping straight. Alright, with that, have a very happy 4th of July weekend. Be blessed. Go out there, create something, right? Share and give it to someone. Alright, be blessed. And see you next week on Teach Me Nana here with Zoe and Nana Stamping. Bye.